Hello everyone, I'm Antom64.
I'm the Flameclaw.
And I'm Richie.
And welcome, at long last, after an 8-year break, to the final game in the Sonic Advance trilogy. There wasn't really any meaning behind us taking so long to reach Sonic Advance 3, but we're here now, so we'll go on as we mean to go on. I'm just going to put my cards on the table here, right at the start. Those of you who have followed HSC for a while will probably already know my opinion of the game, but this is my least favourite of the trilogy. Now, I'm going to try not to be a Grinch during this Christmas season and just bitch and moan throughout these 3 parts. But there are some things that I cannot look past. That said, Flame, you're the one who recorded this for us, and why don't you kick things off? What's your opinion of the game?
Well, for the longest time, Advance 3 has always been one of them games where you ask people what they think of it, and it's either their favourite or their least favourite, and there's very little space in the middle. I am one of the few people who is in that space in the middle, because while I will say it is my least favourite of the 3, because I'm a massive fanboy for Advance 2, I love the way that game plays, the speed and all that.
Same.
This one, I feel like it's the kind of game that is very ambitious in what it's doing, but it can't help itself from just shooting itself in the foot. Yes, there's the 1 pixel, by the way. You have to get that out of the way.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm kind of... I want to like it more than I actually do, I guess is probably the best way of putting it.
Fair enough.
Richie, I'm going to assume you're going into this one blind, right?
You would be entirely correct, because hilariously still to this day I have not actually played through fully a single 2D Sonic game.
One day.
You've played Sonic Generations, right, Rich? No doubt you will recognise this music, Route 99's theme.
Ah.
So Route 99 here, they're breaking the trend a bit with the advanced games in that the first level is not a Green Hill clone, it's a city level.
Ooh.
And I'm in 2 minds about this, because on one hand, I like that it plays out differently to the other games. I was tired of Green Hill clones long before everyone else became tired of Green Hill clones, and so having a different opening level is neat. However, this is probably the worst designed level in the whole game, and the fact that they put this, they throw this at you right away, because as you can see, right away we have pressure blocks here in a fast-paced game. Let this be a good example of why there's so much pushback against this game, because this game's level design, it likes doing this to you, and I feel the fact that this is the first level, and this is probably the most egregious it gets until right near the end, doesn't really give people the best first impression of the game.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. And I am correct in saying that the advanced games were dimps, weren't they?
Yes.
So, from everything that I remember from the way that dialogue was around all of the dimps games, was that they were very infamous for their love of bottomless pits and crushers. So, obviously, it doesn't surprise me that the most controversial game in their catalogue opens with crushers.
Part of why it's such a problem here is that for Sonic Advance 1, it was kind of like a natural evolution of the classic games in the the control and whatnot. It was obviously different in terms of the physics and that, but it you could kind of see that was the design mentality behind it. Advance 2 kind of became its own thing, where it was now pretty much designed from the ground up as a speedrun game. It was very fast-paced. That's kind of what they wanted you to do. This game, in terms of Sonic's control at least, it's got that fast-paced control. It's got the kind of weird momentum where jumping seems to carry momentum far more than running does, which is strange, but you get used to it. Except it still has the level design that doesn't really lend itself to that fast-paced control. So it's I sort of get what they're going for, but it just doesn't really complement itself as well as it possibly could have.
I guess so, yeah. The main thing for this game, the main gimmick, if you will, is the team-up mechanic, and there are some really OP combinations, there are some really nothing combinations, and you unlock new characters as you go through the game, and you can mix and match, and so on. I seem to recall Tails and Knuckles being particularly OP.
Knuckles in lead with Tails as the partner is a good combination, yeah. For this playthrough, what I'm doing is, it's a Sonic-led run, but as we unlock new characters, I will be subbing them in as the partner characters. So we will get everyone on screen for a bit, but you know, it's a Sonic game, I want to play as Sonic. And also, you do have to have Sonic as the lead character in certain levels if you want to unlock the others. Right. The game does nothing to tell you this, but there are interactions that only happen when you reach I think it's usually the end of Act 3 in certain stages with Sonic. You just run into the other character and there's like dialogue. And I suppose it's probably that way because they didn't want to write different interactions for every possible character combination. But
what is this, a David Cage game?
Yeah, like you don't have your 1,000-page script for Sonic Advance 3, I'm sorry guys.
Our choices truly do not matter. As for story and whatnot, it didn't really give all that big of a hint as to what's happening during the opening cutscene. So I will just rattle off the plot from Wikipedia here. Sorry, Richie, I'm taking your job, I know, but I just gotta lead the playthrough somehow.
Oh, it's fine. I just get to sit here and be lazy.
Prior to the game's events, Dr. Eggman builds a robotic assistant named Gemul, or Gemul, I'm going to say Gemul, using parts from the robot Emerl who was destroyed in Sonic Battle. Eggman attempts an experiment using the Chaos Emeralds to perform the Chaos Control technique, but it goes awry and tears the world apart, and this splits up Sonic Team. And he intends, Eggman that is, to create a segment of his impending empire on each chunk of the planet. So we have to go get the Chaos Emeralds and undo the ne'er-do-wells plans. Pretty simple stuff. It's actually kind of funny how this would sort of prelude what would happen in Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that, yeah, it's kind of like the Proto Unleashed. You don't see, like, as much dramatic shit happening, but, like, the idea of the world getting broken up, it's the same kind of idea.
So what's going on with the Chow? Because obviously I'm noticing you're collecting them, and obviously this is a very... It's a mechanic that has been used in previous games, because obviously, very famously, you had all the Chow things in Sonic Adventure 2, but obviously this is odd in the 2D games to see it, because I don't recall it in any of the previous playthroughs we've done.
Nah, so unfortunately, this is a much less fun integration of the Chow, because the Chow are how you get into the special stages.
Right.
Each zone has 10 Chow split across both the levels and the hub worlds, like we see here.
Yeah.
Once you get all 10 Chow, then you can go back to a level and you can find a special key. Once you have that special key, you can then go into the special stage. That's the key right there. It's a lot of busy work. It's not quite as obnoxious as the Rings in Advance 2 were, because the good thing about this one is that when you find a Chow, it is saved. Right. So it's not like you have to get all of, like, in Advance 2 you had to get all 7 rings in one run. So there was a lot of, like, running backwards and forwards, maybe flying up with Tails or whatever, going back on yourself. This one, if you miss one, it's fine, just replay the level again and you can just, like, fill in the blanks. It's still, like I say, it's still busy work though. I would much rather, like, basically any of the classic Sonic approaches to get into special stages were far more manageable than this.
I would prefer just being able to get the key and then exit the level. I don't really understand why. And it's not just this game, so I'm not trying to give Advance 3 more guff than it deserves it. Why you can't just exit the stage? Like I said, I don't know why so many games tend to do this.
Well, one thing that can happen is if you get the final Chow in a level, it is possible for the key to spawn in front of you later in that level. So that might work out in your favour, but also it's annoying. And what's especially annoying is if you fail the special stage, you then have to go back into the level to get another key.
Oh.
Let's hope you can wrangle yourself around this perspective here enough to get it the first time, because God, it's annoying if you don't.
Yeah, that is... Oh God, this is rough.
How would you rank the special stage among the Advanced trilogy, Flem?
I would say probably better than 1, worse than 2. Because, like, 2 special stages, like, at least you had that, like, combo chain mechanic, and it was easier to, like, see what you were doing there. This one, it's not quite as bad on the perspective as the, like, tunnel thing in the first game was, but it's still not exactly easy to line yourself up either.
Right.
I feel like the behind-the-plane perspective really doesn't work in a 2D game.
Well, certainly not in 2D at this era. When you sort of had more of like the 3D models and you could actually get a bit of depth going on, it probably would have been a little bit easier. But yeah, no, this is... I can understand why this game continues to be controversial.
I feel like had it used the 3D models, like if you had a new game that used this sort of gameplay style with the 3D models like you have in the Mania special stages, they could probably make this gameplay style work. Like lining yourself up and like the floor just being this constantly moving tile pattern, which is a little bit... it makes me feel a little bit dizzy looking at it for too long. It doesn't really help its case.
When you obviously talk about the key and stuff, I feel probably what would have been an easier / better approach would have been collect the chow in the level and then the key turns up in the hub world for you to use to get into the special stage. It seems like, yeah, it's just adding extra busy work and extra runs of a level just for the sake of trying to get you to play the levels again, and that's just feels a bit cheap.
I feel like what they're trying to do is they're trying to add in a bit more replayability because like they want you to replay the levels with different characters and some of the other characters having easier time getting some of the chow. So there's that kind of mindset behind it, and this game does feel a bit padded in that respect. But when you're just trying to do a run through like I'm doing here, then it's a bit much.
Yeah.
I might be showing off a little bit there, don't mind me.
Yeah, so that was Jamal, and we have billions of the Twin Towers in the background, don't mind them. Eggman is in a cartoonish hammer machine now.
Now, you may notice from the little face in the bottom, what's essentially happening here is that Jamal himself is transforming into these Eggman mechs. So we're always facing off against Jamal, even when we're not.
I mean, that's a cool concept.
It's Eggman reusing his assets, I guess.
Sadly, I think this was the final game for this particular cast flow.
It was, yes. I'm not sure if they are even new lines. I think a lot of them are just like stock lines that they add. You know, like, I'm going to pay for this. Do you really need to call Dean Bristow into the studio for a whole session for stuff like that? You probably don't, but like...
No.
It does mean that it was the final performance of Dr. Eggman by Dean Bristow before he sadly passed away.
Alas. Sonic and Tails got married on the way to stage 2.
Christ. It's December, it's not June. So, now we have our Green Hill clone.
You thought you could trick me, Dims, but I was wise to your games.
Yeah, they couldn't contain themselves. I mean, hilariously, obviously, the Route 99 is effectively a City Escape clone. So it's not like they were being 100% original with opening on a light, slightly orangey city level, but there we go.
I'm a fan of this level, honestly. Like, I like the music, the aesthetic is really nice, and, you know, bottomless pits aside, it's fun. I'm not as much a fan of the boss, but that kind of goes for every boss in the game.
Yeah, the bosses in this game are consistently either mid or straight up bad, so get used to that. But yeah, I will say I am a big fan of Green Hill at sunset. It's such a beautiful aesthetic going on here. Even just like the sun sort of shining through in that background there. The pixel art in this game is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's Dimps at their best in terms of pixel art, I would say.
The only thing that I think maybe I prefer in the other games, artistically speaking, is that the floor patterns tend to be a bit more plasticky, whereas they looked a bit more organic in the other games. And I realise that that is literally just a slight changing art style that you can take or leave. But I don't know, like I feel like it has its strengths, but I think all of these games look pretty, so it's not really a negative against it to say that the other games did one thing slightly better.
Also, I'm pretty sure no one else cares about the flaws except you, Flame.
Tom, remember what series we're in. Remember the kind of discourse we have in this franchise.
Yes, very true, very true. Now, I've noticed that we haven't picked up as many Chow in this level. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, that's because for the sake of the playthrough, I don't want every level to be just me running backwards and forwards and doing them awkward jumps I was doing. So I'm doing the same thing that I did in the Advanced 2 run, where I'm showing off the first one and the last one.
Oh.
And the other levels, we're running through them quickly as God intended.
Thank you.
And by God, I mean Sega.
Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Which I guess in this case would be Yuji Naka, but he just kind of fought the team mechanic and then buggered off, really.
I didn't even realise he was involved in this, but...
Yeah, that's literally all he did, pretty much.
Oh, that checks out. I lose track of whether he's inside or not these days, so...
I don't think he ever truly went inside. He, like, got a plea deal or something.
I don't know, like, I feel like Yuki Naka's... I think a little while ago he said he got out, but then he was immediately starting beef with someone else on Twitter.
God.
And, like, you're really doing wonders for your legacy here, mate. Good job.
Look, he already made Balan Wonderworld. It can't get any worse than that.
Yeah, it was a pretty crap title, which is not fun.
Now, I played the demo and then decided... I think that's enough.
Shouts to Farmer Ted, though. That dude goes hard as fuck.
Yeah. Like, it is one of them games where it was let down by the gameplay itself, because, like, the actual production values on the cutscenes look really nice and whatnot, but it's just literally the whole idea of trying to map the entire game to one button just meant that you were really... There was nothing to do. It was like you just run around and look for stuff, and that was basically it. And occasionally there was that sort of fake knights thing where you would just have to mash the button a lot, which was kind of strange. Other than that, it was basically just a nothing game.
I love how you just ran straight past that Chow. Like, Lost Chow? Yeah, permanently.
Lost Chow that triggers a cutscene and a text box if I pick it up, thus wasting time. I'm being time conscious here.
Yeah, perfectly fair. You know, Christmas is almost upon us. We want to make sure this time of year is sacred.
I just like to go fast.
So, Green Hill Zone. Does anyone have a favourite incarnation? What about you, Richie? You've played some games that feature Green Hill, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I think the iteration that's probably always going to stick with me is the Generations Act 2.
Yes.
Just because obviously it was one of the first times that we'd... Well, outside of Sonic Adventure 2 and its 3D Green Hill, it was the sort of first real proper 3D Sonic with the sort of classic level approach.
Yeah.
And so it's such a... Also, it's just such a fun level to play through, and sort of a really strong way of starting out that game alongside, obviously, the replication of the original 2D Green Hill.
I remember I was streaming, actually. I was streaming Mirror's Edge at the time, and the trailer dropped, and I think we all stopped to watch it together.
I remember that level a lot because shortly before the game came out, Generations, there was a demo, and I must have played that like 30, 40 times just because it's such a fun level.
For sure. What's going on now, Sonic? Maybe you could use my help. Ah, thanks, but no thanks. Slides off screen.
These are the cutscenes they didn't want to rewrite with the other characters, by the way.
You may select Knuckles now, you don't have to.
No, you may.
Knuckles will see him in the next level, but like, there's a reason I'm keeping Tails around through a lot of them, and that's because the jump power that Tails has that you charge up. You saw me using that to get a lot of the shell. That's one of the best powers, like partner powers, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. Like, with all the bottomless pits, having something to just get you, essentially a double jump, out of harm's way is a godsend.
This boss is not particularly exciting at all, and it feels kind of strange how the physics in this work, like it's making it up as it goes along, how far back he goes depending on each hit.
Yeah, I can see that. It's also just like, I get that he's obviously meant to be able to be sort of grappling on to the different bits, but it's also seeming like it's trying to be using momentum, and it's doing neither.
Oh, Richie, he said the M word.
Oh god, another 20 years of discourse.
See, I love how he's like taking his kid home. He's been naughty.
Pretty much, yeah.
Another zone down. So far, we have had city, we have had greenery. What will be next? God only knows. Maybe it'll be a green city.
Not quite, although it is a combination of two different tropes again, which is neat. Like, I always like it when games do that, because like, obviously Ocean Base here, you can see, like, we've had a lot of levels that are just one trope and they sort of tick the box. This kind of lets them make it feel original, even if they are still kind of treading on old ground.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's cool about when you start mixing together ideas is that, yeah, it does just give it that little bit more of a level of refreshment.
Yeah.
Because you start going, oh, how could these different things interact? Obviously, Ocean Base is maybe not necessarily the most unique, because it's, I would say, not necessarily entirely dissimilar from Chemical Plant, but in general, sort of that concept, considering how many platformers we've had in existence over the years, and how many level gimmicks there have been, there comes a point where the majority of the ideas for sort of solo-themed levels have been had. You are not going to come up with anything new, so throwing different things together is going to be your greatest opportunity for having any sort of creativity.
Well, I don't know about that, Richard. We could have a level that takes place on the outside of a camel.
I mean, yes, but that would just be a desert level.
Game, set, and match, Mr. Richard.
This is why you're not making the games, Tom.
Yeah. To be fair, I did send a letter or two to Yuji Naka, but it was in English, so he didn't realise my full potential. Honestly, the level that this puts me in mind of the most, and not just from the name, but from the general trope as well, is Secret Base from the first Advance.
Sort of, it's basically Secret Base but underwater, and like it's the sort of thing that they haven't really used this trope that much. I guess like there's Underwater Bolt from Boom Rise of Lyric, and I guess Machine Labyrinth, although that's more steampunky than this, but that's kind of about it for water bases off the top of my head.
I'm gonna be honest, Flame, I didn't realise the areas, not even levels, the areas in Boom had names.
See, the thing is, I went above and beyond to do a bunch of the optional stuff when I covered it, because I have no life. So I looked stuff up.
I'm glad we're past that bit of Sonic's history, because, woo boy, those were a few rough years.
Well, we haven't done a full, proper playthrough of it. There's the stream I did for Hell Dragon's birthday, I think, but in terms of you, me, and Flame, Richie, it's still out there.
Oh god.
Can we just do Fire and Ice instead? I actually like that one.
Yeah, I think I might retire before we get to that one, if that's alright.
You're the only one here who hasn't covered it, Rich. Come on, you've got to do your time.
And it's a 3D game, so it's not like it's something you can run away from either.
Oh, I can entirely run away from it.
You saucy bitch. Going up.
I will say in general, these hub worlds, I'm not a fan of them in general, but as you get further and further in the game, they start getting a lot more maze-like, which I think is incredibly antithetical to like just the general design of the game. And especially since if you want to swap your partner character, you have to back out and go to that little area where we got Knuckles from, with the like teleporter thingy. And that means if you're on like Act 2 and you've already been part way through the hub world, you've got to sort of retrace your steps. And it's little things like that what I was getting at when I say that whenever it has a good idea, it sort of shoots itself in the foot with it. Because it's like, yeah, you have this very interesting mechanic where the gameplay will play out a bit differently depending on which character pairing you have. But then you have a design decision that kind of discourages people from experimenting.
Yeah, sadly.
It feels like the sort of thing that, like, if you should just be able to go into the menu when you're in the hub world and just swap your character line up. It'd just cut out a load of that bullshit, and people would be more inclined to think like, oh, I'm going into this level. I remember I'm Mr. Chow here, and maybe I would be able to, like, say, use a character who can fly to go up to the places I haven't been yet. That sort of design mentality would encourage that way of thinking, but when you make it work, it doesn't.
But when you make it work, it doesn't. Very, very well put, Flame.
You've had, like, over 10 years of this shit. You should know by now that I'm not good with words.
Well, there's only one person willing to record Sonic Advance 3 in this group, and it sure as shit weren't me, because I remember when I streamed the game. That was not a fun time. If it wasn't for charity, I would have dropped it.
It is the kind of game that, like, because it's a lot of busy work, like I say, it's the sort of thing that you have to be in exactly the right frame of mind to kind of put up with the problems to get a good time out of it, which that seems like the most backhanded comment I can make about it, and that's because it kind of is.
I will say, though, all respect to you, Flame, because you did the Chow stuff, I would assume legit. I just used a completed save.
I used a completed save to get the ones that I'm not showing off.
Well, this is what happens when I compliment Flame. On the one hand... Yeah, why do I even bother? I'm not even going to finish that sentence.
Look, would you want to do like a 400% run of this when you're not even using half the fucking footage?
No, not at all.
Well, that's why. And also, it is really fucking fiddly trying to get routing down where you get all the chow in one go without switching the characters, and that's also part of why I didn't want to show them all off like that.
Does just seem like they came up with these interesting ideas and then just put loads of extra busy work in it, and it's you just hit that point and go, no, I'm alright, thanks. I'll just go over here and, just play Sonic 1 for the 200 billionth time because I can actually get through that game without having to do all this busy work.
Well, Richie, you don't even have to leave the GBA to play Sonic 1. Have you heard of a little game called Sonic Genesis?
That is true.
It's a wonderful port. You should give it a shot, Rich.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm going to speak for Richie. I'd rather shoot myself in the face.
Look, I kind of managed to get used to its quirks,
Oh,
so I find it
piss
being
off.
an experience of itself. Look, you watched me fucking run it during the last marathon. I played that game, I think, better than you played the real one. Look, alright, I definitely remember that I had less trouble in that one spot in Labyrinth Zone.
That one spot in Labyrinth Zone sucked balls.
Yeah, and I managed to do it just fine. I don't know if falling off of that's what you intended to do there, but I wanted to show off a little bit.
This game does have one or two sections where you're just on a platform, on a rail, and you have to dodge stuff for an extended period.
That is nowhere near the most egregious example of that, but it does feel like there's a few different categories of levels here. Like, there's some that are just like go fast until you run into a crusher block or an awkwardly placed enemy. There's the ones that are more not really puzzly, but like they're more built around a certain gimmick. And then there's like the wait and dodge stuff levels, which I like the speed ones the most, so I'll say that much.
Of course, of course.
And that's such a cool Knuckles animation.
It's good sprite work.
The advanced sprites getting abused in sprite comics at this period of time meant you were going to be seeing a lot of them no matter what, so I'm glad that they were really well done.
Now, I don't actually remember what the boss for Ocean Base is, so let's see what Dr. Eggy Man has for us here.
Oh, it's one where it just tries and stomps on you. There's one of these in every game.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even fight Jamil this time.
Nah, like, they sort of give him a break for a while, and then when he comes back, it's basically an even more dumbed down version of the boss from what I remember. Now, this one, it is a very simple pattern. Every now and then, he'll fold those feet inwards, which will hurt you, but it's kind of pathetic. Like I said, there's nothing bosses and there's bad bosses. This is one of the nothing bosses.
Yeah, it seems to be doing very, very little in ways of actually attacking. This is literally just going, I'm going to jump. Where might I land? Oh, over here.
That's about as much as it does.
Maybe if you put some guns on the undercarriage, he would have taken both Sonic and Knuckles out at this point, but, you know, I'm not a genius with a 300 IQ, so what do I know?
I don't know, I think he hit Knuckles like 10 times there.
Knuckles doesn't count, okay, this isn't his game. It doesn't say Knuckles Advance Free on the cover.
Knuckles is in NPC mode right now, so he don't count at all.
Alas. But, and now it is time for Sonic and Knuckles to enter LGBT Zone Act 1.
Yeah.
Well, I'm out of commentary now, so I can't wait to see how we deal with episodes 2 and 3, y'all. Oh my god, Knuckles with the Black Power salute. Fucking based.
Jesus Christ.
We'll see you next time for more of Sonic Advance 3. Bye for now.